Hey guys, welcome to Tiny House Customs. I'm Dan. I wanted to give you guys a quick tour of my workshop, things that I've done in the last few months that you haven't really seen. You've seen them in the background in the last few videos, but just show you different things that I've done to store different tools. All the lights are crooked, falling off and stuff because I've been walking around a lot on the roof. I've been trying to finish that. Haven't really been trying. It's been an ongoing project. It's tarred. I just need to do the white. It's a process. I haven't been filming it. I'll film the last step. So right when you enter the shipping container is this large 4x4 table, which turns into an outfeed table for my table saw. It's kind of a catch-all type area. This saw, I'll fold it up and put it away when I'm not using it. My neighbor's actually working on a project and he needs it. So it's out for now. And then during the summer, right now, what is it, October like 4th, and it's 90 degrees today. Really unusual, but it's supposed to drop off in temperature, so I'm no longer going to hang out here. Once it gets cold and I need to sit by the wood stove, then I'll go back into the hole. But the farther deep you go into the container, the hotter it gets. So I hang out right here by the doors. It's kind of cool, but not really cool. One thing that is good about this spot is I can use my computer and I can actually steal my neighbor's Wi-Fi. I asked the kid, what was your Wi-Fi password? And they told me. Ask the kid. Don't ask the parent. Ask the kid. The kid will tell you. The kid doesn't care. The kid doesn't know what that means. I got it. I'm in on your Wi-Fi. So yeah, this is my table saw. It's about done. I wouldn't really do any really nice work on it. It's got too much play in a lot of things. This thing drives me nuts. This is the crappiest thing in the world. But it's a table saw. I can do a lot of what I need it to do, and I've got an outfeed table, so I can rip full sheets of plywood here without too much of a problem. I can put it up on this table right here and then just slide it into it. It is always a pain in the ass to cut plywood. And then all this stuff you guys have seen, but I've got all the spots for my nail guns. I've got spray paints, I've got nails for all these nail guns, staples and stuff like that. And then I've got aerosol cans, PB Blaster, battery cleaner, WD-40, Goo Gone, oils, different things for spraying. And then obviously I got the chop saw, which I use quite often. Matter of fact, let's do this because I need to do this. 1/4 inch. So 17 minus a 1/2 inch, because I got two of them, is 16 inches. No, it's 16 and a half. Double check it. Remember, Daniel, measure twice, cut once. Good. 17 inches. 17 is 16th. One of my coworkers has a locker at work, and they haven't had a closet rod in there for a while. So this is where I usually hang out. This is a much higher table. This is 41 3/4 inches high. Standard is what, 30 something, 38? Yeah. So a little higher, but with like a bar stool. Put that right here, and then I got a little a shelf on the bottom I can put my feet on, and I can chill here. But it's super hot back here. You guys have all seen all this, but tool holders for all my power tools, everything that I've got, circular saw, I'm not going to name them all, but anything that you really need. I mean, there's a few. No, there's really not much left. Now, going back to these lights, I had just wedged them in there, but then when I stepped on the roof, this roof's got a bow in it, so when I stepped on it, it pushed the walls out, making those things fall. One of them got broke, but overall, they're good. Once the roof's finished, then I'm going to put them back up, and then I'm not going to put them back all the way up there, because I do want to do the ceiling at least in this. Do the joists, I want to say, but they're not joists, because joists hold the floor. But ceiling joists, yeah, that's a thing. This whole back section is very underutilized, and I'm not really like a fan of it. It's kind of a catch-all area, but it is probably like 7 feet from the end of this workbench to the wall. So I could do a lot better with this space, get rid of some stuff that's in here. I don't really like this bench. This was the first bench that I made for the shop, and kind of just got thrown back here. But one day I'm going to revisit this area and make it a little bit better. I thought about making it a welding only area because the floor is mostly metal. There's a lot of metal around here, so it's pretty fireproof. And then I got my welder tucked in right here, and then the big black cord for welding comes in right there. So this is a good spot to do welding if I ever needed to. So right over here I got my router table, which I occasionally use, not all the time, but I do use it frequently enough to have a spot for it. I'd like to maybe build this into one of my workbenches so that this is flat with the top of one of those massive surfaces that I have. So something maybe one day I can do. And then Chip's firewood storage. It's got mostly little stuff because it's been summer. It is getting towards fall. You probably can't see this, but oh, there is one in there. This is one of those walk the plank mouse traps. You can buy them on Amazon for pretty cheap. I might reproduce that out of wood because this one's not as good, but that's the 4th mouse I've caught. And of course my great wood stove that I love very much and cannot wait to use because, oh yeah, I love that dry air, that wood stove. So when I upgraded the power to my tiny house, I ran a big power cord through the grounds. I also put in a water line to give water to my house, and then I also ran in an air line, and I used the PEX, and you can buy different fittings to put in the connectors on that. So there's a PEX line that runs on the ground that's filled with air. There is a small leak somewhere which I can't find, but I've got air on demand, and I got 100 feet of cord here. This right here is enough to get to anywhere in the shipping container. If I need to go outside the shipping container, I've got that right there. So I got 2 hooks to hold that somewhat organized. And then the newest thing that is part of the shipping container is this massive, great, wonderful thing that I use all the time. This is all French cleat system. So everything on this wall is removable and relocatable. That is not a word. That's not. It's most definitely not a word. So you can find a thesaurus and figure out what a better word is. Now, one thing that I will recommend if you ever do anything like this is to make things bigger than what you need. You know, I've got all these attachments that go on angle grinders. There's cutoff wheels, flap discs, grinding wheels. There's even the Holy Galahad by King Arthur Tools. And I even got the Lancelot thing. This freaking, both of these kill you. And grinding wheels, and then I've got that safety thing that I never use. But I've got all those discs in here, and they're just on a piece of dowel. And then I built this so that it's slanted back a little bit so everything stays on there. And then again, I made it big enough to upgrade, to get more on here than there's actually is on here. I didn't do that with this, which I wish I did, but this is screwdrivers, channel locks. I don't know names of tools that well. That's always been a problem, but cutting thingies, different things like this. You can see it. What are those? Needle nose pliers. Let's see if we can get them all. Needle nose pliers. This is a bolt rounder. Crescent wrench. Bull nose. Vice grips. This is your standard pliers. Wire brush. Channel locks. I didn't realize, but I've got 4 pairs of channel locks. Can never have more than, I mean, you can have unlimited channel locks. Are the greatest at all these things. That's it. And then all these assorted screwdrivers. Honestly, all you need is a bunch of these. I've got 3 of these things. I got 1, 2, I don't know where the third one is, but these are like 10 in 1, 11 in 1, 12 in 1s. They're all different, but it's got a flathead. The only thing that I wish it did have is the T25s on here, like, because that is like a T maybe 5. I'd rather have T20 and T25 because those are the 2 stars that I use for my screws. But yeah, honestly I don't need all those screwdrivers, just these are good, unless I'm prying on something in there. But there's also chisels and stuff. Going up high here I got the pocket hole, porter cable pocket hole, 560 I believe it's called, plus the clamps that go with it on both sides, and then the screws that I would need for it. And that is basically everything you need to do the pocket holes is just right here. Got some nice chisels. I've got the pin nailer, which not 100% happy with. It jams a lot. I took it pretty extensively. I took it apart down to like, oh God, I don't know if I can get it back together because springs started popping out. You know, when that happens, you're like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. But I got it back together and it worked. I shot another couple more nails through it and it didn't jam ever. So maybe I fixed the problem. But that's got a nice little holder. It's 2 little nails that kind of stick up and hold it in place so it can't fall. And then I've got the nails for it. These are all slanted back a little bit so they won't fall out. A little bit of lube, never hurt nobody. One thing I made the other day was this panel right here, and this is basically what I would say where all projects start and finish, basically. I've got pencils and Sharpies, I've got speed squares, and I've got places for 4 tape measures. I only have 3 tape measures, but you can never have too many tape measures, right? And then you should buy a new one, like this is the oldest one, so. Beautiful, you know? So I should get one more right here. And then the newest to the oldest. It'll be good. And then I've got my impact drill and my drill. So when I'm assembling things, I usually use those T25 screws or T20 screws. But this is nice. This was actually made out of mahogany, the wood left over from my door, and I just put a little nice finish on it. Gave it a little slant so it's leaning out a little bit. Drilled the holes through one piece and then put a spacer in here, so sawdust ever gets down in that hole, it'll go down on this piece of flat here and it'll fall out. So these holes won't get filled with sawdust. Ingenious. Very ingenious. And then I ran out of rubber gloves. The kids love blowing them up and pretending they're milking cows or something. I don't know what the hell they do. Up top there, what is in that? Oh, those are auger bits that I've got on Amazon. They're cheap, like crappy auger bits, so dado stack, cheap drill bits with like a bazillion in there, router bits, and then a feather board. And then this wall, if you remember maybe from a few videos ago, I've changed it a little bit. I did add that, and then I moved this down here. This is the hole saw kit, and this is something I think I would use more if it was easier accessible. So I put it down here versus being up there, because up there is not very easy to get. Dislocated my shoulder the other day, and so moving is hard. And then here is tape. This is every kind of tape you'd ever need, really. The only one I'm missing is the red tape that you would use to seal plastic, but I got metal backing tape, duct tape, blue tape, house wrap tape, and then what is that, scotch tape, and then foam tape, electric tape, and then plumber's tape or whatever it's called, and different masking tapes, different sizes. I did make this way bigger than what I would think you would need for tapes, but it's full, amazingly. But I've got 3 of the same types of tapes. I could get rid of some. But I think that's really cool because that's protecting the tapes from getting damaged, and they're easily accessible. And yeah, I like it. I'm happy with that. This is my orbital sander pads. I got 60, 80, 120 it should be, right? Should be at 120, 220, and then, what is that? That's very rough. 220, I got a shit ton of 220. I should have something else. I did have some 150s, which is weird. I don't know why I had 150s, but good, because I can now have extra. And then I made these little things where you put you take the sanding pad, you put it on here like this, and you fold it like this, and then when you put it onto the orbital sander, these holes line up with it, and then when you let it go, all the holes are lined up with the vent holes. So you can actually buy these, but they're very simple to make. Just 3 holes, a couple pieces of dowel, and you're good. So yeah, all my sanding pads. This is kind of a everything you would ever need type thing. Pencils, chalk lines, glues, Allen wrenches, label maker, different things that I couldn't really find a place for, but it stores them. The only thing I would do different with this is I wouldn't do it 2 layers deep, and I would make the front plexiglass so you can see it, because things do fall down in here and you can't see what's down behind there. Obviously plexiglass will end up getting scratched and it'll end up being like frosted glass, but I like this. Works good for me so far. And then this down here is my screw bins. I've got 1 1/4", 2 inch, 2 1/2", 3 inch, all on those T25 or T20 things, and then I've got them labeled as to what they are and what size T25 or T20 they take. All the buckets are just little Tupperware buckets. They're removable, so I can take them where I want to go, and there's a lid underneath it so I can cap it if I need to. And then I've got room to expand that. If I want to get 4 more, I can get 4 more down at the bottom here, but these were kind of expensive and I've been low on money, so didn't get it. And then I have this little block here that holds the countersink drill bit, but it's in the drill right now. And then I've got a spot for all these driver bits, every size you'd ever need. Plus there's a couple Phillips, because a lot of things have Phillips screws. And drill bits, good. But that's a cool organization system for all my screws and stuff. And I just go to the hardware store and I buy them by the pound versus buying the boxes at the boxes that you get at the hardware store. One thing that is cool about this is that I've got pull-out drawers. These were the first ever pull-out drawers that I did. This one doesn't work that good, but it's all right. It's full extension pull-out drawers. Yeah, clearly not working great. But these are very deep, and these are set up for plumbing and then electrical. So I've got everything you really need for plumbing, all my PEX fittings. There's a torch in here, PEX cutters, different things, hose clamps, hole saws, little bits of hoses, and then other things. There's a rivet gun in there, which makes kind of sense. And then underneath it, I got my PEX tool, some copper pipe, tools related to plumbing. And then the electrical side, this one's much better. Still not great. And then on the electrical side, I've got wire. This thing holds all the connectors, wire nuts, but the ones that most electricians say are crappier in there. Plus wire staples, different wire fittings. You know, you buy these because you need one of them. Well, now I've got 50 of them. Great. And then I've got electrical boxes and then electrical outlets. And then I've got a bunch of these so I can upgrade my electrical boxes if I need to. And then incorporated into this bench is this power strip. This power strip kind of sucks pretty big. It is not, when I got it out of the box, it didn't work. I took it apart. I found a wire was disconnected, so I soldered it back together, and it's still never really 100% reliable, but yeah. You know, I get a lot of shit for never wearing safety glasses, so I bought some clear ski goggles. Why does it look crooked? So I bought some clear ski goggles. I mean, I think this is very comfortable. They're not going to fog up. They might not be rated for, you know, cutoff wheels, but if I'm using the cutoff wheel, I'm using the thing. So safety, that's going to go on the grinding wheel area, just in case. I don't know. That's somewhere where it goes. You know, I'm sure I missed something, but that's kind of like an overview of this shipping container workshop. It is it's not an ideal shop. It's not. What the hell happened? It's not a perfectly ideal shop, but for what I have, this is great. This is a movable structure. Obviously, I would take everything out of it if I were to move the shipping container, but it's good for what I need it to do. I can pretty much make anything I would ever need to make inside of this shipping container, and it's got everything that I need for the most part. Obviously, you can always get more stuff and make it better. If I were to have a ideal, wonderful workshop, it would be a 40-foot by at least 20 foot, 25, maybe 30 foot wide. So 40 by 30 workshop, insulated heating and cooling inside of it with dust collection. That would be like wet dreaming, you know, win the lottery. Yeah, we're gonna build that. But for somewhat of a budget and being movable, this is a great structure. Tall ceilings, it's a high cube, so I can take a sheet of plywood 8 feet and turn it completely around, and I'm not gonna hit the ceiling. I might have to double check that, because 8 feet on a diagonal, 4 foot rise run. Hello?
Yes, sir. This is Travelocity, and we were wondering if you are interested in an all-time new plan. Do you have a moment to talk?
No, I'm good.
Dan, this is...
Well, that call I got turned into an hour and a half conversation, so, you know, too many. That is a tour of the shop. Again, I've said everything I needed to say in the video. I think I was doing the outro when I got that interruption. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Peanut, any last words?
No, you've got no words for you. You're disgusting.
Peanut, you need to talk to the camera.
Okay, I will talk to you. Well, your belly's sticking in the way. You haven't seen your dick anyways for about 14 years, so it's all right.
Oh, God, Peanut, that's enough.